Hello, YouTubers. Hello. Welcome to Confessions of the Mystic with Lily Kolosova. Welcome, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about very important subject, you guys. So that came up. It's kind of was interesting because it came up in sort of in an interesting way. So anyway, I just wanted to see, is everything going all right? Anybody here in the chat? If anybody's here, just let me know that you guys can hear me. Interesting subject today. Okay, you guys. So I'm gonna be starting talking about Heyoka Empath. What is going on? All right, something's not right here. Hey, Ramus, can you actually hear me? Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much for confirmation, Ramus. Really appreciate it. As always, thank you. So, well, welcome, Ramus. Here you are, and we talked about a lot of stuff, and I got all your voicemails, Ramus, and I've listened to them just before I went live. So I actually is very timely your messages. So, and the idea to talk about the approach from a Heyoka empath is actually what I really enjoyed as well. Okay. So I think it's a great approach, especially for me. Like I am in United States of America. So for me, since the kind of shaman that I consider myself to be is the one that is in tune with Mother Nature and Mother Earth, right? And so I wield that power of dragon, or that the dragon fire, or that original um human race, and that genetic sort of, I always connected that to also cosmogenetics, that those, some of us, those races that are here embody certain come through certain genetic bloodlines, right? And so this is what I talk about, why this spiritual war is also being talked, like I talked about in the past, that it's been a call called war of the bloodlines. This is also, you can say in some way, for those of you that remember what the War of the Roses was all about, that's also important, because the red rose is very important symbology in many different traditions. But in my case, it so happens that for me, in order to do my calling, or to sort of be that what I'm here to be, incarnate on behalf of my ancestors. Hey Zeus, no, we're not gonna go outside, no matter how much you cough, just so I can look at you. Yeah, you can just relax, okay? For a little bit, Zeus, please. Thank you. Thank you, Zeus. So anyway, what I want, so basically, I want to come back in kind of to the point of how it depends on the perspective, and each and every one of us, of those of us that going through it on behalf of our ancestors, we're gonna have a different karma to transmute in this lifetime, because this is basically what, when we master our individual power, this is in a way we transmute our ancestral karma. So then we master or became masters, of our bloodline. Now we can, just like it says in the Bible, when Christ was here and master himself for his own bloodline, right? For that bloodline, right? To go through that own path in as an individual incarnate on behalf of his ancestors, and bringing all of that and releasing the karma, because this is basically what we have capacity to do, is to alchemize or transmute, transform, and transfigurate reality, because it is within our DNA. And this is what I talked about when I talked about blood codes. Okay. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here. So we all approach this subject from a different perspective, right? So today, when I did this, my thing was always, since I walked this land, I do get to know what's going on with the land. As many of you know, for those of you know, that my path also involves exposing the forbidden religion and what it's doing to this reality is, in fact, is my responsibility. I'm doing that on behalf of my ancestors, because my ancestors had suffered through that. And so now I'm here to transmute that karma. So I'm here to call justice on that very specific thing. And so now, because I'm here doing it in individually, on behalf of my ancestors, what I'm doing, I've done this to where, like I was saying, everything what I do then I grab and take it, all of that, up to the mountains. And then what I do is, on the top of the mountain, is this is when you realize that whatever was happening, it was not happening to you, it was happening for you. So then you can in turn understand that when you do get to the top of the mountain, or the mastery, right? To where you can see the two sides of the reality, and meaning you are now in balance, or as if you want to go biblical, that you can see that God prepared the table for you in front of your enemies, because that's how we accumulate karma, as those that are incarnated here as Heyoka empath. Hi, Teresa. Good to have you here. Thank you so much for being here. So Heyoka empath as I had in the past, when I'm originally in 2014 and 2015, when I was talking about our gypsy souls and what it is that we're here to do, I used to have that in our soul group. I used to have that terminology, Earth Soul Group, gypsy souls. We're here, we're earthlings, we're doing our things. Right now people call like earth angels, right? That's what I used to call earthlings, or those who are on their individual path. And then I kind of switch it and I said we have to get into a warrior mode. And this is when in 2017 and 18 I went into warrior mode, because I was facing the biggest demon right in my face. And I knew why I was there, because I am a Heyoka empath, and a Heyoka empath is the one, just like I was talking about in the past, that we are like white blood cells within the blood. That's what ultimately a Heyoka empath does, except on a collective level, like the bees in the colony, is what you can say that reading that collective consciousness in order to stimulate certain hormones within, or certain things within the blood, to correct the blood cell. Okay? So that's how I used to refer to us. But now, because I'm going to use the Native American terms, because this is in sort of in alignment with this land, and my 2 feet are planted right here on this land. So I'm gonna use those terms. And because, like I was saying, and even for those of you guys that know, I've been dealing with, with the fact that as here in America, that all the native prophecies of tribe uh, coming together, that rainbow tribe coming together, meaning all different, humanity levels, 7 heaven on earth. There is different seven seedings of humanity now combining to one. Right? So then that collective human consciousness can evolve or elevate, right? So we can elevate our state and move into that Aquarian age, right? So the Heyoka empath is exactly that white blood cell that now is almost like ahead of time, because that's how the Aquariuses are perceived, right? So like I even mentioned last time, my only first house, which meaning my own personality, I only have my sun there. Okay. That's it. There's no other planets. Everything else is my second. My second house was very busy and on and on and on. So, what that means is everything what I do here is on behalf of my ancestors. I'm here incarnated through that sort of, through this vehicle. You can say is your talents, your ability is like, so just the same way we look at the astrology as what we have, the tools and capabilities and what are skills that we can learn to sort of express through this physical vehicle that we have as an expression of it all. Okay, and this is what Heyoka empath is someone who is completely eternally anchored, who never can jump the ship, so to speak. Because an Heyoka empath is the one who is emotionally anchored within the river of eternity. And that's why the cloaked ones always called Heyoka empath witches. Because what happens, and this is what I'm going to read, right? So empath. So just a regular empath. And first I want to just read about this two little slight difference, because regular empath and Heyoka empath. Because Heyoka empath are the white blood cells and empath are the blood cells within the sort of the body of this because that's the holy water, right? That's where all of our ancestors can live through us. That's how they experience reality, through us, okay? So anyway, so empaths have an inherent ability to sense, read, and make sense of the energy emanating from everyone and everything that exists in the universe. So as an empath, it's a very high degree of responsibility being incarnated here on earth. And this, for those of you that study Dolores Cannon, I mean, this is what I study as well, her type of hypnosis. So this is the metamorphosis process that you got to go through within, that I've studied and developed in the last few years. So I've been working on that, and that's how I've done a lot of spiritual research as well, because that way each individual on my table has access to that universal knowledge, and then there's no interruption, and I facilitate that zero interruption sort of connection, right? So anyway, that's what I actually, as a shaman, we always do. But so this is the empath. Heyoka empath is a little bit different because we're taking it to a next level. Heyoka empath is the mirror of truth. Heyoka empath are like the cosmic gestures of the empathic realm. And this is that emotional or human living grid. It's that quantum living field of energy that is expresses as what it is here in this reality. Okay. So it's what's behind it, right? So it's that what holds everything in its place. So they have access, okay, to that realm. They have an innate ability to to reflect back people's emotions in an unconventional way. Truth tellers who use humor and paradox to help others. And here, Ramus, is what you've been talking about in your last couple of messages about the paradox when you're on top of that mountain, because you see both sides, the positive and the negative, but you now understand that that negative that you carried up there, that weight is now become your sort of uh, your feast, okay, as a Heyoka empath, because Heyoka empath as a white blood cell will go after the problem within the blood cell. It will read the problem on the quantum level of the cell, okay? It goes beyond blood proteins, because blood proteins just attach to the nucleus of our blood cell. And this is why I said that protein or Rh positive is actually means that your blood has parasites on them, on it, your cells. And it's been proven, right, that the Rh positive means that those proteins that surround that blood cell, they look like parasites that feed strictly on the nucleus of that. That's the only way they feed, and they can only exist by feeding on or taking energy from the nucleus of the parasite. And this is why people with Rh positive blood age a lot more faster. And this is why Rh negative blood people look a lot younger, because the proteins is what exhausts the cell a lot faster in this physical reality. So this is why I'm bringing this, and this is why it is connects also, see, like what the Heyoka are looking for. We cannot understand what Heyokas are here for without understanding what is Wetiko. Teresa, you're negative, me too. Boo boo. Kitty over here, me. Negative too. It's funny. Nobody can tell my age. Everybody thinks that I'm in my mid 50s. She's 60 soon. All right. Teresa. Woo-hoo! Love it. I love everything about my life. It's just once I mean, I understand. I've accepted myself who I am. And this is the thing. It's and I've posted in here the really great article, The Crazy Wisdom of Heyoka Empath. And the link is in description. There's some really great explanations of the crazy wisdom. That's what in the East, Tibetans called it a crazy wisdom. That's the Heyoka empath. Those or it's in the quartz here. It's the Fool. The Fool. And this is the card, and this is from the spiritual cards, and I don't have the book for this cards here. This is, by the way, what came out today. courage, which is card number 8, which is strength in the regular, and then the magician. Okay, that's what I just got it before this. But anyway, the fool, right? The fool is 0. Why it's a card 0? Because it's a full circle. The fool has already been through the first, through the 22nd. So 0, in a way, is the same card as came up last time, which is the card 22. And sorry, I made a mistake. Call it card 23 if you number them, if you include full as card number 1, because in some cultures they do count that as card number 1. So, but it would be 22, that eternity point card, right? So here's the fool in this one. But this one I like because it's a spirit card, and it's literally, I don't have the book in here, but it talks about the fool then goes on its own individual path. And that's why in here we have him being led by the wolf. We're right now in the wolf age, and this is the native of Siberians right now. Understand that we're in the age of wolf, which is that Christ consciousness embodiment age. The make, right, the alternative. And this is exactly, Ramos, you're talking about the different cards, the total, like a different tarot meaning cards. And so, like the last time you said about the lovers, it's the choice. Yes, absolutely. So it's the choice. So it's positive, negative, reflecting on each other. Okay. So basically in this one, so this is Heyoka path is the fool. So that's why I look at him wearing a funny freaking hat. Look at me, I wear hats all the time. Love hats. Closet of hats. Look at that. Look at that goof. With the white rose in the hand. A white rose represents an individual purity. That's the Christ conscience. So right now, when you see the red rose against the white rose, you guys even see that in the movie Divergent, the Hunger Games, all about white rose. Ishika, thank you. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. So I'm talking about the power of Heyoka empath and what it is that Heyoka empath embody. What is this crazy wisdom? So like to a regular blood cell, right? A white blood cell is doing crazy stuff. What's it doing? You know what I mean? So in a way, so basically it's that circle of life and being in tune with that circle of life as Native Americans teach. And so this is what this new age, or the age of the new 7 different colors. It's not 6 colors. It's 7 different colors, because there is also a white color that's included in that symbology for Native American tribe. So for those of you who understand what the rainbow symbology means, in these days that's been hijacked actually, because it really means something so pure. And of course the color of purity, which was white, was taken away, I believe, right? Was it white that was taken away? I'm not sure. But I mean, there is differences. I know that. I am not sure what exactly. So this is one thing that I wanted to one second. I wanted to say about the the Wetiko. I don't have it. I don't have it. Sorry, I don't have it here. I don't have it here open, but Vedico disease, some call it, okay? But Vedico actually, and I put it here in the description, correct meaning for Wetiko. Okay, so for those who know Native American teachings will understand it is not a disease, it is a spirit, it is a cannibalistic spirit. So for each of those that study Native Americans, unless you were told this truth about Wetiko, you went to a wrong Native American shaman. If they didn't tell you that it is a cannibalistic spirit that is invades your mind, because there is a clashing of the forces that happens when that happens. Because we as human beings, and this is in a way explains why they have to clash atoms at CERN. Because they're trying to clash holy with unholy, to piggyback the unholy into heavenly realms or lift it up and of that nature. And that's why um, the very natural formulas for cleansing your blood of those parasites, because you can, and I do have blood tests to prove that I have several times have went from negative to positive, negative to positive. And I had to do blood cleanse, and then I go do tests, I'm back to negative. So I am a living proof with tests and everything that you can, if you know. So I test everything on myself. So, and that's how, like um, when they put me in jail, they, it was during COVID, so I don't know, they poisoned me with something. So, when I came out, I got so sick, I didn't think I would survive. But, to my surprise, the only thing that healed me, the only item I needed was the pine needles, and just what is that? Hot steam, steam, and steam that. So that's how but they poisoned me quite a bit. So and so basically steam it, and so because my lungs started closing up, basically what happened. And so the pine needles, I guess, they open up and then pick everything out. Oh my God. Stuff came out. So yeah, it cleaned it out and I survived. There was a lot of other things that was done simultaneously. I'm talking about ritual and things like that as well. Which, because I did end up going, but then I had to come back. So I did die. I did die. It was right after Christmas, 2021. That was, yeah, 3 times. 3 times I died during that week between the Christmas and New Year, 2021. They really went after me. So anyway, and so that was, yeah, that was part of it. That was one side of it. There was so many multiple things were attempted. It was amazing. And this is what I talk about, like, when I said last time on Vino Fridays. So since this is Confessions of a Mystic, this is how I said I'm going to confess how I had, Boulder County government go after me just so I can record all of their crimes. And, it's just what it is. I'm a Heyoka empath. When I'm on a mission, I'm on a mission. There's nothing, there's no, low budget torture judge that will stop me from doing that. I'll keep you in your feelings and you'll do exactly what I want you to do, just exactly what they did. So I basically, like I explained last time, I had my low budget torture judge uh, go on record with treason and everything, and threatening to falsely imprison me, and accusing me uh, 72 days later of Russia collusion, basically initiating illegal surveillance. So so once they accused me, ta-da, this is how everything military can have access to it, because once they accused me of Russia collusion, that's a crime. That's treason. So basically they accused me of treason, and they used a picture. I kid you guys not. This is why I told you how stupid they are. They used a picture of their own crimes against humanity, Boulder County government, to frame me. I kid you not. This is how the low intellect is. So, of course, in 2020, in November 2020, in 2013, I had my Judge Ginny in Boulder County come out of her treasonous bottle with her crimes against children, which I, on that time, was like, whoa, that is like, wow, my mission's over. I got it all on, it's COVID, it's all on videotape, it's all treason it is. Let's go. Oh, wait, no. So this is what I'm talking about. This is when and then during that time, that whole torture without me having an attorney continues for several hearings until 2020, November 5th of 2021, a year late. Guys, it's crime that she didn't offer me to have an attorney during the accusations or anything. Didn't offer me attorney. I didn't have an attorney. In fact, what I told her November 13th of 2020 is that my attorney dropped me because I do not want to accept uh, the offer, because you didn't have probable cause. There is no charges. How could you put resisting of arrest when there is no arrest? Nothing to arrest for. So how can you? And so, and here I am using my constitutional rights to report crimes. So anyway, and here comes threats all in transcripts and everything. So here goes that. You think that I'm thinking, well, she just came out of her, treasonous bottle so easy. I'm like, did my job. Or, oh no, spirit, like that was just cake. Wait till the icing on the cake comes. Here comes the icing on the cake. All of their things sending me to figure out if since I'm asking for trial, if I'm capable to withstand trial. And then they're sending me uh, limited intelligence agency agents, limited intelligence agents, pretending to be like they're like psychologists trying to see if I am capable with stand trial. And I'll go ahead and use my constitutional rights and report the crimes to them and do all the things that I needed to do. And they're thinking they're just trying to convince me of something, and they're trying to figure out how much I know and what I know. And then the icing on the cake, a year later, on November 5th, she realizes that she's in a little bit of doo-doo, because I filed right 5 minutes before going into hearing, unfiled another another crime, so another attempted kidnapping to my judge. So she goes on record telling on record that Boulder County, state of Colorado, cannot honor my constitutional rights because Boulder County does not have budget to honor my constitutional rights. That's how she got her nickname, low budget torture judge. The reason she had to torture me for 13 months is because, and she goes on record, the reason she couldn't and she had to violate her oath, she had to betray her oath in all court records because Boulder County didn't have budget. They only had budget for torture. And then she went on record and explained to me why. Because apparently she only believes government paid psychiatrists, and that's why she can't send me to she can't, there is no budget. Boulder County has no budget. Judge Jeannie came out of her treasonous bottle again. So year later, it was a cake. Year earlier, it was a cake. A year later, a beautiful cherry on top of so many, I seen like 13 months of torture and all of that stuff, and all on record, right? But in the meantime, I'm all just documenting who's guardians of pedophiles and who's guardian of the United States Constitution. I'm just doing my Heyoka empath thing, right? Bad actors, shitty roles, Ramus. Okay. War of the Roses. Okay. Truth, Heart, Intuitive. Thank you so much for being here. You said War of the Roses. I thought Alice in Wonderlands. Who is painting my roses red? Queen of Hearts. Oops, I think I'm watching behind a bit. So it's the bloodlines. So there is two bloodlines, Cain, and so the one when murder, and so there is a forbidden religion that can only access knowledge through murder. So that's the red rose. So that's the that represents red rose. But the white rose is the purification, is the other side, is represent Christ. And a lot of times you will see paintings of Christ either with red or white, because Christ represents, like last time I was talking about Catholic Church, they have a cross, right? That represents their religion, but the cross will always have a bleeding Christ on it. So this is your red rose. This is the ones that feed on it. Okay. This is what it's not a secret anymore that what Catholic Church is all about, what Pope's all about. It's not, it's not a secret, you guys. So basically, and so what I wanted to kind of talk about is that we're gonna be, and this is why there is no guys surprise, right? Is any of you guys surprised that it's Cat Williams on Club Shay Shay with Shannon, right, in here in America, that completely broke internet? Who did it? A comedian did it. And it doesn't matter how much that forbidden religion and those people that they're really, they're really slow in their head, to you guys, to be honest. They already lost. This thing is on its head now. Because after what they pulled off with Ghislaine Maxwell, right, our Justice Department went ahead and pretended and tried to take our mainstream media, convincing everyone that there are crimes against children that they've been protecting, and that our beloved guardian of pedophiles, Alan Dershowitz, a professor at Harvard, um, look at Alan's Wikipedia page. It's a list of crimes against children that he covered for. And they think that by having power of mainstream media, they still have hold any power. It's not 1999, bitches. It's 2024. Shay, Club Shay Shay having Cat Williams on it broke fucking internet. YouTube had to go broke just paying him for that. I mean, millions and millions of views. Do you think that uh, Alan Dershowitz with blood on his teeth, screaming on mainstream media, confused American and confused Jew, gonna scream on mainstream media, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. Alan, you're a confused Jew too. Go check me 23 or 23 and me. Hebrew DNA. Confused Jews. Hello? Hello? Confused Jews. They don't know that Hebrew DNA is actually Palestinians. Ooh, confused Jews don't know. Why don't you go and do a DNA test to find out if you have Hebrew DNA, bitches? No, you don't. Confused Jew, Alan Dershowitz. But he used that, anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. You know who Hebrews are? Palestinians. But he doesn't know. Just the same way Alan Dershowitz did not know that he cannot teach at Harvard our attorneys how to protect pedos. Because that's exactly what he's on record doing it. So what do you think, Alan Dershowitz? Since you're a confused Jew, we're going to make you into Christian. Because since this is a Christian country, we're going to make you into Christian. Because imagine Alan Dershowitz that covered up for all those children that Ghislaine Maxwell provided to all of those bitches. He covered for all of those crimes against those little children. Alan Dershowitz probably has thousands, if not millions, of little skeletons in his closet. Those skeletons, Alan, are coming out. Do you think you're going to cover for yourself by screaming, I am confused Jew? it's anti-Semitic. Here's Heyoka Empath coming out. So, Alan, as a Heyoka Empath, I'm going to tell you a story how we're going to make you into Christian in here, since you confused Jew. We're gonna send you to a regular prison for covering up for crimes against children. All of you, those little skeletons, come out, and you go to regular prison. You're gonna be cut into shit-sized pieces, Alan Dershowitz, and you're gonna be flushed down the toilet. That's called rapture. So this is how nice we the Americans are. We're gonna put you in a regular prison that all of the judges have financially benefited for. Because our politicians, the politicians, think that it's their personal gigolo funds, public funds. So anyway, 44 minutes. Here I am, being the clown. All right. So the white, and so this is just the symbology that people use, okay? So Queen of Hearts. Uh, okay, Remus, you said they have the numbers, we have the wisdom. Absolutely. Teresa, funny story. Funny things. It's her own personal jiggle of fun. That's how much intellectual capacity they have. Great. It's just great, right? So anyway, I think you guys, I don't know if there is any other questions in here. All right, you guys. So it's been 45 minutes. Let me see. Do you guys have questions? If you do, other than that, I don't know. What about Heyoka impact? Do you guys want me to talk a little bit more about that or no? I mean, I made a lot of comparisons on and like those my discussions from Earth Soul Group. All right, Teresa. Yes, more about Heyokas from Earth Soul Group. There is a channel on YouTube called Earth Soul Group. Those are like group conversations where we talked about, in a lot of those conversations, we were looking for words to explain how it is to be Heyoka, how it is to be different and be okay with it. And this is when we were starting to begin to like that own, stepping on that own individual healing. There was a lot of things that came out that I was sharing through that group as well, like about the living grid and things like that that we talked about, and those conversations with Og that we had. Those are still on YouTube, so you guys, if you want to just go ahead and look through those, go ahead and look through those. But Heyoka empath are actually the ones, like in the bee colonies, are the ones, the bees that like have their, because all the bees have different like they're born with different abilities, right? And what they do, right? But that ability is given always to them by the collective. So it's like, and this is how we understand like how our white blood cells and our immune system operates, because it has to measure, and there's like an antidote. So like it talks in the crazy wisdom here of Heyoka, right? It talks in here, let me just, it's called, and many empaths identify as Heyoka, which is a Native American word for me, which means sacred clown or a fool. Heyoka use humor to open people up so that people energetically transition to a place where they can absorb wisdom and healing energies. Okay, so you are a walking, talking karma to people and you don't know it. Just your presence. Okay, in Tibetan Buddhism, a Heyoka would be referred to as someone who has the attributes of crazy wisdom, which describes often as controversial path to self-discovery that is seen by many as abnormal or irrational. Okay, it says as crazy wisdom, it's called Tundra Trungpa Rinpoche, I don't know, it's those pronunciation. It's often expressed himself in somewhat bizarre ways, using playful or shocking tactics to jolt people out of what he felt was restricted and linear mindset. And this is what, again, Ramus, we talk about the linear mindset and switching from that linear mindset into that quantum state of being, understanding that everything is connected and you are that quantum field, because that's what ultimately holds your being in here in this reality, meaning you're ultimately here on your own malicious. So you're doing your path, meaning, so basically what we talk about, so Joel, he believed this was a compassionate method explaining When we talked about compassion, we talk in terms of being kind. But compassion is not so much being kind, it is being creative to wake a person up. It is thought that whoever follows the path of crazy wisdom is able to rapidly and effortlessly move through karma. Those who practice crazy wisdom do not take themselves so seriously, and they surrender entirely to their natural character traits. However, they usually exist at the far edge of society, as they're often seen as troublemaker, delinquents, or divergents. Okay. Um, so another one, those who embody crazy wisdom can sense if something is upsetting someone often before the person becomes aware of it themselves. And through using humor, they're able to pull the issue out of the person where the interaction is welcome or not. And this is the key thing, you guys, where the interaction is welcome or not. All right, you guys. All right. So this is what, okay, and so I have this here. A good thing, you guys. I want to read a little bit more from this because it's a wall. It's just so much wisdom. This is why I want to say Heyoka used jokes or trickery to shift people's mindset so they snapped out of restrictive, fixed modes of thinking and are able to look with wonder and curiosity at new possibility and form different angles so that they perceive situation in a fresh way. And this is ultimately what Heyokas are here, is to bring the rebirth. And so ultimately, when you approach it looking at Heyokas as a white blood cells, and the rest of the humans is the rest of the blood, or we're human consciousness, right? The Christ blood, which is, this is what they want. They want that consciousness that runs through that blood. That's why, that's what who they are. So anyway, so we're here to change that or rebirth. And the rebirth, not ourselves. We're gonna stay Heyokas. We're going to stay true to ourselves. We have the strength. This is why it's come out, card 8. We have the strength, right? In 2024 is the year 8. So this is the year of strength. That's why Heyoka Empath, Cat Williams went ahead and talked about being the year of truth, because the Heyokas are the truth speakers. They're the only ones who are capable of seeing the truth, because they have to sort of prescribe that healing to a regular blood cell. It is the passion, it is, and do it in the creative way. And this is what, like I said, many of those that hijack Native American teachings, they teach this, like I mentioned, Maria last time, teach skin deep teachings. Anybody can learn about those teachings. Collecting knowledge is not wisdom. You know, collecting knowledge is not wisdom. Wisdom comes through experience. And as a Heyoka, you can, align yourself to another cell that just received an information from a white blood cell, and you're a white blood cell, and some of the people that are gonna say that you have to submit to their teachings, which is why it's antichrist. Because Christ said you can't serve two masters. You can't serve a higher God and belong to a higher God and then serve the God of this world. And this is what Jehovah Witnesses will can't come in to convince me that this world belongs to Lucifer and Satan or whatever they because that's all they know. That's their reality. But we know that we're in it, but we're not of it. So we'll look at it from a different perspective, right? So this, and by the way, the website is called elephantjournal.com. Okay. And this is the article that I was reading out of. So this is the source of this article. Okay. That I'm reading. Heyokas can sense heavy negative vibrations in the air and they can easily transmute them. This is the next one that I want to talk about. And this is where all that transmutation, transformation, and all of that comes through. Therefore, they know to cause disruptions with good intention so then they can transmute the energy of the individual or a whole group of people to alter the mood or atmosphere, effectively turning the energy to be more positive. So this is that power that Heyoka can wield in a way, right? People might identify as a Heyoka empath due to noticing that other people often feel frustrated, upset, intimidated, or irritable when in their presence. Heyokas have enhanced intuition, giving them the ability to read and affect other people's emotion states, which often cause people to back away to avoid them altogether. Some people feel uncomfortable knowing that their hidden negative traits or tendencies become unveiled while in Hayoka's company. Often they're subconsciously attempting to guard their true nature, and so they don't understand why the Hayoka presence caused them to feel so uneasy. At, at the other end of the scale, those who are sincere, attentive, and open to Heyoka's healing energy will feel at ease, peaceful, relaxed, and loved in their company. This is because they're vibrating on the same frequency, resonating strongly. So, you guys, I think I'm gonna leave that, and the whole rest of the article is here. So there's a link in description. Really read it. It will give you a lot more insight. Hayokas are unconventional. Do not adore by the rules. So it took Boulder County years to literally figure out that I was documenting treasonous crimes. It took them years to put that together. If they had enough, or they didn't have enough intellectual capacity to figure that out for so long, this is what like scared me and surprised me the most. And this is why I acted the way I acted, because I know who I am, you guys. So it just really, and it says they often use upside down tactics to trigger people. So I'm basically walking, talking trigger to these people, and just like Christ was, Christ went and shook some tables. Those confused Jews there on that time. I am shaking some tables for the confused Jews. Oh boy, oh boy. How can you not? They went on record. Like I said, Ghislaine Maxwell trial. That door of that closet of millions of children that Harvard covered for. I mean, treason is treason. Crimes against children are crimes against children. And we're in this country, military code. That's what it is. So it's been on. I can't believe it. It's again came up. But what's poking out? Ooh. Look at the symbology. Look at the symbology. Laziness. All right. And new vision. Okay, you guys. So it's been 1 hour. And so I just want to see if I do this sometimes, if anything wants to poke out of here to say what is our advice from our crazy wisdom channel over here, Crazy Lily. Okay. I got 6 of water, which is faith. All right. And then I got 10 of earth, which is the great work. Okay. So I say to me with this, the way I fate, it's like solidifying, right? With the element of water and earth here both, and the great work with fate. Okay. So we basically, that's your Heyoka, only on fate. You can't go any other way, because if you go off your track, oh boy, do you get in trouble. Okay, and Sister Water, it talks about the emotions being the support of this reality, because we manifest through our emotions, and this is why for those of us that do hold that original um, uh, Hyperborean DNA, which is that what Native Americans refer to as the dream space. That's the real space, and this is the dream space. Okay, same thing in my culture. That's the Hyperborean races. Okay, so those are the pure races, so the heavenly races. So it's the like Christ was talking, that as it is above, so it is below, right? And this is what ultimately Christ came to bring in, and this is why this is the star card again came up. This is the card 17, okay? And so again, and this is what it came up. As it is above, so it is below. That's basically what it means, because we are the stars above, because above is waters, eternal waters. All right. And this is our true origin as the cosmic. So this is the living water, is the cosmic sort of. And this is what we have in the blood. So think of it as just how powerful um that all that it is really truly is. I mean, imagine we came into being in this reality out of that one cell, and that one cell had the intelligence to split into so many and yet keep everything in its order. We are a miracle of miracles. And this is ultimately what we as Heyoka empath, because this is my mystery school is for Heyokas here, to have the family for this tribe, for a true tribe, to start, coming together. And we will ultimately, and this is why I'm reopening this channel for future conversation and collaborations on that bigger scale, and because we're going to be only evolving and transmuting, transforming, and that where we've been individually going through, we're going to start seeing that blooming in the collective, and we're going to recognize the blooms, and we know that eventually, there's going to be a cleaning up part that will come through, and we will sort of restructure this reality to where it's to the human living liking, so where we don't use blood of children to stay in this reality. That's just not gonna. Alan Dershowitz is not convincing Americans anymore. And I was gonna say, is just funny, because it's just funny what's happening with me with Facebook and even YouTube, you guys. It's crazy. Like there are certain things that I went through, and I just, as a Heyoka empath, I just follow my intuition, whatever I do. I don't know what the outcome's going to be and what it does, but a lot of times I just say things even to, like, people around me, and then it takes years for me to see how that reflects back to me, to where I see what, like, I understand now. And this is what, for all of us, in this next couple of years, we're going to start seeing sort of the fruits of our labor. What we're gonna see. Oh wow, Teresa, you just got notified. I know. Oh my God, I had caught them literally doing, and I snapped the pictures of it too, because I am gonna be suing YouTube as well. Eventually, it's part of my whole thing. It's gonna be one big thing. It's crazy, but anyway, I mean, literally taking down, like, it was 90 at the time, then was 110 views at the time. It's crazy. And it's funny. But I laugh so much because it's funny. To me, it's so funny because I am a true Heyoka, you guys. Anyway, so again, I'm so glad that the star 17 also, you might know, Ramus, that's the card of healing. And that's a star for those that represents the Aquarius. It represents Aquarian age. And so what I'm going to say, why Heyoka empath are very unique, because in each and every one of them has sort of their own, because it's mostly cultural and your bloodline, so your genetic wisdom that comes through. So it's like your ancestral wisdom come through, because it comes through as this is how our ancestors lived through us. So, like, for me, because I use, even this is my tool. I always told them I don't most of the tarots, and this is what Remus I was talking about in our soul group. Regular tarot deck, those are all entities of astrology. I don't go for that. This my I have a different perspective on that. I don't use those entities to aid me in my mission. I use these cards to see how do I need to move in this reality with these entities, because I'm in it, but I'm not of it, right? So that's something that I figured out when I was about 6 years old. And it was really so embedded in my being at that age, to where I never sort of can come off of it, off of that path, to understand everything in my life so it can lead me to this point. Okay, you guys. So, anyway, over 1 hour. Thank you so much. And yeah, that really interesting. And then Vedico, and this is how, again, I'm going to talk about research the true meaning of Vedico, because it does, it will explain what it is. It's a spirit that has to do with injecting blood. And this is how you get infected with that disease. And so this is, you will understand why that stuff is put in in our food, it is put in our drinks, it is put, so then it is within our body, so then that spirit can operate within our bodies. Okay, so that's basically, and so then this is ultimately what we Heyoka empaths are. We are the antibodies to that. So we're the antibodies to that thing. So by sheer presence of you being there, you already, and this is why Heyoka is also called as a mirror. So you can mirror and or project, and they will never know, because they are under impression that they are, because you know exactly the manipulation, you see the trick behind. So you know how you can trick them is by knowing exactly what they're trying to trick me. So, like, how I was able to survive, and the original intent was from 2016, when I originally came out with the information as a undercover investigative journalist, that there was 20 to 30,000 kids being trafficked into the world from Ukraine a month, 20 to 30,000 a month. It was in 2016 when I went public with that information. That was the moment when the whole thing got triggered, where they could not allow that information or that kind of investigative reporting to be public. That was also the last time when I was on Lisa Harrison's show. That was the very report that made her my enemy, that went after me, and this is why I had so many problems and attacks and all of that stuff, is because they literally went after me in all of that stuff. So it was triggered by what I was talking about in 2016, in the beginning of 2016. So that's when it all started. Okay. So all of this, okay, is involves all of that for me. So it's kind of yeah, it's interesting. Uh and so for me, like, see, and then go in, because every time I had to always act as though I believe in manipulation in order to stay alive. That's the only way I survive. Because if any indication of me being, a problem will arise, I was told in so many ways, not directly, that if that ever happens, well, I grew up in Soviet Union. I know what happens to those KGB that don't want to protect the secrets, the managers of secrets. So the managers of secrets inform me how they operate. I know exactly how they operate. So in order for me to be here today, but I had to, because the way they play, as though they manipulate, but at the same time, they check you. How much have you ever figured anything out yet? So they test you and manipulate you, test you and manipulate you, and then they test you and then manipulate you, and then they test you. So you have to be really good actor. Like I said, I really did well. I deserve that Oscar, but oh boy, dude, I don't want that Oscar because it's been to Diddy's parties, and I know for sure it's been to Diddy's parties. So I don't want it. I don't want to touch it ever. But you have to be really, if you, I mean, if I didn't have the experience from childhood, if I wasn't 100% sure that I'm in it but not of it, and if I didn't know that I was sort of veiled in it, and this is what I was talking about. That's your true Akashic record. It serves as a veil, because as a Heyoka empath, they can't access it. Whatever they try, there's like a veil that will only mirror to them whatever it is that needs to mirror. They can't turn a white blood cell, regular blood cell, and say, "Hey, I don't want it." You being telling me what I need to 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 do here to be healthy. It's just, it is what it is. That white cell has, a white blood cell has the power to reprogram that cell so it works according to higher plan. And it doesn't go off thinking that it can do it on its own. So definitely, so that's basically kind of like the metaphors I used in the past. So anyway, you guys, it's this things are getting a lot more, a lot more longer. And what do you know? Strength came out again, again. Anyway, so I love that in this one, because here's your pillar, and then here's your Kundalini rising. Okay, and so anyway, thank you so much, Ramus, Teresa. Rian, Ria Anthony. Oh no, Ria Anthony. Thank you so much for being here, Ria Anthony. And there was somebody else in there. Too many. Teresa. Thank you so much, darlings. Mwah. I love you all so much. You have a beautiful week. I will see you Friday for Weena Fridays. Bye, you guys. See you in a few days.